Okay, so just a quick orientation video on our new H&R Machine forcible entry door prop. Same prop that Vallejo has, so if we've used it over there, you should recognize it. Ours has a couple additions. It's the newer version. What we liked about it when we bought it, inward and outward swinging left and right hand options. So it's got two doors depending on which way you approach from. You get the versatility of anything you might encounter. In addition to Vallejo's door, this one has a hinge pulling station. So we got hinges that go in, and you just slip in roofing nails, which we have in the toolkit, to hold them in place. Rick, come on around this side, because it's got the nails in. He's just gonna show you what you would do. One of the techniques would be just to slip that in and pry and pop in. It shears off the hinges. I'm probably gonna find some magnet or something to put over the top to hold the hinges in place from vibrating out while we're beating on the rest of the door so they don't keep falling on the ground. Big eye here for a padlock. You can use real padlocks, or you can use the padlock simulator, hardened steel body with a couple of set screws, and it's all reusable. The shackles over time will get banged up where we can't use them. We got spare shackles, and I have spare set screws. So when you're doing this, back the set screws out, slip it all together. It's a tight fit. You might have to tap it in with a hammer or with the flathead axe. Tighten the set screws down. You're gonna put your point of your Halligan in there, and then beat away on the top. Off it goes. Put it all back together, do it again. So there's the hinge and the lock pulling station. For the force that you're breaking on the door, the wood that you're breaking, it accepts 2x2s, just standard 2x2s. Bought these at Lowe's and cut them down to length. And oddly enough, they seem like they're a bigger diameter or bigger measurement than the ones at Home Depot. The ones at Home Depot are actually sloppier, so I think the Lowe's ones are better. 2x2 or 1x2. Buy just standard wood stakes at Pedrati's if we needed to do some training and we didn't have any of them. You can double them up. There's 3 positions, top, middle, and bottom. You can use any combination you want. So over here we have a deadbolt simulator. Got this little deadbolt, goes in, clamp down the vice grips on the back, and with the vice grips clamped down, then you can throw your K tool on here and pull it like a deadbolt, or for a higher security, we can simulate that. And this basically makes the deadbolt flush mount. 1/4 by 1 inch bolts go in here, carriage bolts with a nut just loose on the back. So you'd put your Halligan, the adds into your Halligan in there, pry it down, then you'd go K tool on there. And all the spare pieces that you need for that, including spare ones of these if they get chewed up or lost, are in the toolbox. That's just a little magnet to hold the pieces you're not using so they don't vibrate away when you're beating on this thing. Same thing on this side, except it's a doorknob instead of a deadbolt. And then the vice grips are there. So you put it in, get the vice grips as tight as you can, use your technique for pulling this, using probably the forks of the Halligan. You're not gonna do any good. It's not a great technique. You're not gonna just beat on this thing with an axe or a sledgehammer. All you're gonna do is mess it up, and it's really not the proper technique for pulling the doorknob. So like Rick just showed, forks, pop it out, and then you would use a tool to do the mechanism. Here's the door from the other side, same thing. One last feature that it has, pull the piece of wood out. This plywood block, which is a couple, I think 3 layers of plywoods glued together and bolted in, and that's the driving block. Rick's gonna do a little slow-mo on that. Baseball swing, you'll see the technique. You drive the axe, the point into the Halligan, and then you would force up to break the door. So that's an inward swinging wood jam door, and that'll be in some of the training videos that we go through. That's replaceable. I'm gonna make some extras, and there's also a metal block that goes in place that has a hole in it already for the point on the axe, for the pick end of the axe, or excuse me, of the Halligan. So you're not doing the baseball swing, you're just sticking it in and getting the force. One thing we recommend until you get the technique down, let's probably just use 1x2s, because we're working more on technique than we are on muscle. And as we get better at it and our techniques get better, then we probably should bump up to the 2x2s or doubling them up. And that can be done from either side as well. Left-hand swing is going to feel totally different for some people than a right-hand swing with the Halligan. I think that covers all the features of the door. We're going to get some labeling on here to talk about the commands and the techniques. And I think this is going to be put into the training video for October. Peace out.